tonight we are going to talk about, of course, this is a whole series on entrepreneurship,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
we bring in Ikigai with it. Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions on Ikigai, and it is getting a pretty popular concept in the world. So we wanted to
Mm.
know, hey Chenmai, hello. So
Mm.
we wanted to know basically that from a native what Ikigai is all about. Now, before that,
Mm.
let me, the ones who already do not know me here, apart from our friends, so I'm an entrepreneurship specialist. I used to specialize in scaling, funding, and in pivoting for small and large business houses. Post the COVID
Mm.
situation, I have found my calling to aspiring entrepreneurs and to help them to translate their dreams and their ideas to tangible products, services, and experience with a consistent client and to build a legacy of value. Now, why I feel Ikigai is so important here is it is a
Mm.
way of life in Japan, and this the whole world is contributed towards certain very original ancient concepts from Japan. So for the
Mm.
people who already have been before 9 o'clock for a change Indian time, uh, who have been before, it's okay for the ones who have joined later. Jyoti is a very renowned artist, and he's from Kyoto, Japan. His works has been found all over in the world. He's a very spiritual, grounded person. We have his very beautiful and very open-minded wife, Mona, also with us today, and they are blessed with a little son. So we would bring in the whole concept, the native concepts with its core of Ikigai from a world-renowned artist who has lived and has been living the way of life in Japan. So Jyoti, what is it that off to him, over to him, he would be taking the next 10 minutes deep dive into it. So Jyoti, what all you want to share with us on Ikigai?
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So I have a list here. I will also copy and paste to the comment part. So let's see here. Voila. So first, I will share about general idea about Ikigai in Japan, and it is also good to know how to see Ikigai by seeing from other side. What is not Ikigai? Then this will help us to understand the perspective.
Yeah, I
And
really
yeah,
like that. Yes.
and is Ikigai important in entrepreneurship? So this actually one of the core themes that we are having this webinar today. And I am also a small entrepreneur. I'm running a studio myself. So this I
Yes.
can share my own experience in Japan or maybe also in India, my experience. And I want to emphasize some point. This is Ikigai can be subtle and evolving because Ikigai it cannot be fixed in one frame. So I want to share a little bit detail about this. And last part, every moment in life could be transformed into Ikigai. And then how to apply Ikigai in daily life. So these are my topic of the evening. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So you could start on, please. We already have
okay.
friends. We
I,
have
I will start.
Chinmay and others who are really interested to know about Ikigai, and we would start, of course,
Mhm.
with what is not Ikigai. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ikigai, Japanese concept. But while I live in India, many people come to ask me about Japanese culture. Like I live in India last 15 years, so it began with the value of wabi-sabi. Especially, it is well known in the field of art and culture, and it changed to umami. It is more about food, Japanese art of tasting. And then these days, I start to have a lot of questions about ikigai. And this was, for me, is quite close in my daily life in Japan. So sometimes I wonder how to reply for foreigners because it is for as a Japanese too close. So it's not easy to have this perspective. So in this way, for me, this webinar is really a good occasion to see myself as a Japanese and also at the same time how to see the value of Japanese living for universal context. Yeah. So for us, Ikigai, we use this word very often. And Ikigai is really so close to our daily life so that, how to say, we share in a very like daily occasion. Even some people like after working hard in every one's own work, and then having a glass of beer, and then after drinking beer, and then one really feels ikigai. That's for his ikigai. And for other people, like spending time with like family or friends, and then at that moment they feel ikigai. And so ikigai can be different. It is really subjective. So it is really changes according to your way of living, and also depends on your goal in your life. So ikigai changes. So ikigai for some people it can be really helping some people. By helping some other people, one can feel ikigai. Or some other people, it may be just become successful in life and then benefiting a lot from the others, and then one feels ikigai. This is also one aspect of ikigai. But for me, the ikigai itself is not fixed. But I think what is important is how to bring forward the meaning of ikigai by focusing on the meaning of life. Yeah, and then one can feel and then look back our own day, and then if we can feel ikigai, the meaning of life, then it is successful day, I think. So, and
Jyoti,
this
can you
process,
explain here a little bit more, like
yeah.
what you said that ikigai is the meaning of life? So, do people, especially foreigners, they go here? How does ikigai help in getting the meaning of life?
Mm. I think ikigai and the meaning of life can be for. I believe it is for everybody. But I think this is also the attitude towards the life, and I think it is very important. So ikigai, we cannot really feel it unless we have time for this to have moment of self-reflection, like end of the day or sometime in a day. That if we can have time for reflection, self-reflection, that if I am actually living my own life in a meaningful way, then at that time we can think about ikigai. Otherwise, if we are blindly focusing on our own daily goal, the goal, uh, the goal we set, then we will not have actually time to reflect on ourselves. So I think what is very important for everyone to think about the ikigai is that just to have some time, some moment of pause to reflect ourselves that what I am doing is actually benefiting my own ikigai or not. I think that's very important. And this way is actually is applicable for everybody. It's not necessary to be only for Japanese and so on.
Of course,
But
of course.
maybe in yeah. But maybe particularly in Japanese, maybe we have the Ikigai is really one of the basics of our daily life. So our culture is made for this. Like, for example, we have traditional cultures like martial arts or tea ceremony or calligraphy. And those traditional arts are all actually not just practicing this external art form, but also it is a moment for self-reflection. So in that way, I think Ikigai can be, how to say, focused on very constant basis, I would say.
So, Jyoti, before we discuss about that, how can we apply Ikigai? So, for the entrepreneurs, for us, entrepreneurship has been, in fact, there are so many of us who are already entrepreneurs, who are serial entrepreneurs, who are aspiring then. So, entrepreneurship is more about seeing possibilities and giving the life changing solutions. It is less about chasing money. So, I think the self reflection and the invisible values which put the foundation of the pillars for any entrepreneurship. It could be any invisible value. It could be humility, it could be integrity, it could be anything. Now, what happens is in these invisible values, then we see the visible results later. We do not chase the money or we do not chase the visible results. But these invisible values, if we have, and the physical assets are being already made. And sometimes we lose this physical asset, sometimes we lose the digital assets. But when we have these invisible pillars of value, we can rebuild the assets 100 number of times. So self-reflection, being aligned to entrepreneurship, to find the true purpose of life is the key. So we call entrepreneurship to be a personality fit. Like you go to the malls, though we cannot go now, thanks to COVID. So we go and try our clothes and see whether we are looking good, whether we are feeling good, comfortable. Similarly, entrepreneurship is also about your personality, how you're giving your unique flavor. And how do you give your unique flavor and solve a problem if you do not self-reflect? That what can you do? What can you do better? So we would really like to know how can we apply Ikigai in life.
Okay, so I think we have a few topics now, but I think the how to cultivate self-reflection, I think this is really a basis for understanding other people, because if we don't know well about ourselves, we will never understand about the people. This is about, I think it's a basic of psychology. So if we don't have this moment of pause to understand ourselves, I think we will really don't go far about to think about benefit for the others or even for the risk about the others. So for me, is basically, if there is no mutual benefit, there will be no sustainable Ikigai. Does it make sense?
Exactly.
Because if it is only one way, if the communication is one way, then there will be no progress and there will be no evolution. We have nowhere to evolve. So I think mutual benefit is one of the really key points for evolving Ikigai, let's say. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Could
And
you express us some
entrepreneurs,
native techniques or how do we apply, even if not entrepreneurs, but generally how humans do apply Ikigai in their daily lives?
Yeah. I think, of course, in this world, there are many courses about to learn about Ikigai. But I think if we look at our culture, not looking too far away, I think we have a lot of opportunity to practice Ikigai. As I say about traditional cultures like calligraphy, or according to my experience, like tea ceremony, or like calligraphy, or some martial art, and those are actually very beneficial. Everything is very meditative. So all this experience And then all these teachers, masters, they are good at guiding us towards the greater awareness and towards the greater goal. So I think it is good to learn from our traditional culture. It is one of the great things. In India, I think we have a lot of opportunities to be exposed in traditional culture as well, for the singing, for the dancing. I think for learn from Ayurveda, and I think they are all opportunity to learn deeply about ourselves, and these are all introspective. So these are actually opportunity to learn from our background instead of looking very far away. Yeah, this is one great thing. And of course, the best way to practice is try our own way. For example, here it is entrepreneurship, and then we start our own entrepreneurship and then practice it ourselves and to learn from this. And then through self-awareness, self-reflection, I think we can go further than what we are today. So I think every day is opportunity to learn about self-reflection and also to go deeper about Ikigai.
All right.
I
So,
think.
Jyoti, on this thing which you mentioned, that
Yeah.
we must live in a moment at the present, that what we are
Yeah.
doing. So, we say in entrepreneurship that what we are doing at the moment. Now, let me refer to one of my mentors, Eckhart Tolle, and he
Yeah.
says, what are you doing at this moment, right now? Right now, what are you doing? What you're going to do even in the next 2 minutes is not relevant, but what are you doing right now? So a lot of entrepreneurs, they have a very high goal, a very high target, like say, for example, climbing the Mount Everest. And they get so overwhelmed with the whole destination that they forget the whole enjoyment of the journey. Like it is like each and every part of the trekking till reaching the Mount Everest is an experience by itself. It is the whole beauty of the journey of entrepreneurship, of learning, unlearning, relearning, making mistakes, building the pillars strong, and the destination comes itself. I think there is a lot of people who miss out on the whole journey aspect. The whole journey aspect. Is there any other invisible thing of Ikigai which you could share with us, which I could also relate to entrepreneurship?
I think it's a very good question and very good point, because entrepreneurship, we think something very big and dream big. I think dream big is great, but the dream has to be realistic, and dream has to be aligned to our own deeper goal, let's say, deeper meaning in
Exactly.
life. Yeah,
Because
because
if it is not, sorry.
if there's no alignment, we even don't feel Ikigai. Or if we feel Ikigai, maybe Ikigai can be imposed to ourselves as well. Ikigai has to emerge by itself, but Ikigai
Exactly.
cannot
So
be imposed.
there, again, I want to mention Eckhart Tolle, one of my mentors. He says, we never arrive. We never arrive. We are always going. We are always journeying. And he says, we derive. I do not see, but I derive things. So that is how, if we keep this all throughout our journey of entrepreneurship, that we never arrive. We keep on going and enjoy each and every part that we are going. So one thing, Jyoti, a very general concept of Ikigai, which everybody is cashing on and trying to do a course and trying to make some short money or commercialize it because it's very fashionable, or something trendy happening with Ikigai. So what they say is this, that Ikigai, it is, you ask yourself that what are you passionate about? What do you really enjoy? What are the great things you're
Yeah.
great at? And then you ask the second question, okay, you may be great at it, but do you love them? Do you
Yeah.
love them? And if you love them, again, are you great at it? So it is kind of a cross thing that you may be
Yeah.
passionate about certain things, but you may not be great in doing it. And then the third question they say is that does it have a value in the world? Are you giving a value to the world? Does it have any place in the world? If it has a
Yeah.
place in the world, then it can be monetized. Like it can be
Mm.
money is just an exchange of the service or the product which has
Mm.
been given. So you think these four self questions, do they
Mm.
help us to arrive
Mm.
to a core of a person? Is this the right way of deriving a core?
I think it's a very interesting logical process, and I believe there's a really great point in it. And when I have this kind of conversation, I always emphasize the aspect of sustainability in our own journey. If the sustainability is not there, we cannot realize this point by ourselves,
Correct.
because this
Correct.
point
Of
has to
course.
be experienced. Yes. So what is important in this sustainability for me and for everybody, I believe it is joy. What we do is not
Yes.
joyful, we cannot continue. Yeah. So
Exactly.
this is the core of sustainability. Even for ecology, economy, for me it's the same. If there is not joyful, if we have guilty of in our what we are doing, we cannot continue this. Even if we could continue, the continuation would be a healthy process. So joy is really, for me, the pure element in life, and which is very important to sustain. So this we can learn a lot from the master artists or even from the kids. While there is joy
Yes.
and there is no, yeah, then we can naturally focus.
Exactly,
Even
exactly. So we
even
lose
we
account
are,
of the hours we are working if we
yeah,
are joyful in doing something. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Okay,
So
guys,
for
we
me,
have a lot
that's
of
very
people
important.
like Chinmaya and Triti and Kushbu,
Yeah.
Siddharth, Abhishek. Could you please type in your questions on Ikigai before I go to entrepreneurship so that Jyoti can address to those questions? Please, Sangeeta, Anila, it's so nice to have you here. Percy, um, Persis is again an entrepreneur in her own way. So would you please type down whatever questions you have on Ikigai so we would take them. Jyoti would see them in the chat box and would be addressing them one on another. So what do you think, Jyoti, how old is this concept of Ikigai?
I I really don't know when this word was invented, but for me, I really believe this is inherited in Japanese psyche. So I think because this is really, we can see it in all different regions in Japan and different field in our culture. So I think it is one of the basis of our life attitude, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, we all say that it is the attitude which gives the altitude. Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
hopefully.
all right. So, okay, so yes, Neil, good to have you here. Snehal,
Mm.
yeah, Snehal Joshi, nice we see you here. If you have any questions on Ikigai, please go forward. Or if you have any question, Abhijit or Anish, Abhishek, yes. Okay, Abhishek has a question, Jyoti.
Yeah,
What
okay.
is the best way to tap into our invisible power using Ikigai?
Mm. I think again the constant self-reflection. I think as I practice meditation, I think this is a really useful tool to guide us towards our goals. So I think either it is for entrepreneurship or some other professions. I think self-reflection is the basis. And I think then this will really lead us to question deeper about what is our Ikigai. So just have some moment of our own moment of reflection and to continue it. It's not just when we face some problem and let's meditate. It's not like this. Before we face problem, we meditate.
So Japan has produced
Yeah.
the masters in karate, the masters in so many arts, and
Yeah,
the West has been keeping on seeing in all the masters. So guys, the mastery comes from daily practice. Day
definitely.
on day, day on day. A
I think
master
there
is a
will be no.
master. Yes,
Mm,
so meditation, not when we are in problem, but
yeah.
meditation day on day. If you are doing any one particular, say a tango, you do it day on day, anything.
Yeah.
Maybe cooking a meal
Yeah.
day on day, you become a master in that. Hey, hi,
It is.
Samita. We have a lot more other questions, Jyoti. Some of them are pretty interesting questions. In fact, uh, Khushbu has asked, how can Ikigai help in one's life and can it
Mm.
bring any chance in life?
Yeah, I believe so because when we have Ikigai, we are content, we are happy about our life. So we have time to think about other people, other things, and we become more attentive about daily life. Because if we are very close, if we have very closed mind, what we see is only about ourselves. But if we are content, if we are satisfied about our life, then we have really enough place, there will be enough space to contain others. So I think this is really helpful to focus on Ikigai and to remain happy and joyful. And this will allow us to make greater step in life, I think.
So, Khushbu, to what Jyoti has added, we say entrepreneurship, what is the magic of entrepreneurship? All right. Uh, while I had been working with numbers of these small and big business houses, and now I'm working with all the aspiring entrepreneurs, the 5 words of magic for businesses or for entrepreneurship is how can I help you? And
Mm,
how do we know to say this? How can I help you when I do not have a mind space for myself? When I'm joyful,
exactly.
when I look at a situation where other is
Mm,
looking at trouble and annoyance, I look at it with possibility and solution. Then only I
mm,
come up with a solution or I come up with a life changing some solution which can make the world a better place to live in. So that is only possible
mm,
when I'm in a state of joy. I'm in a state of joy, I'm
definitely.
more fulfilled, and I'm living in a
Yeah.
community. Guys, before previously, we didn't have so many architects and, okay, MBAs, including me, and the doctors and all these. Before, we all lived in a community and we used to help each other. That was humanity, and we are gradually going back towards that. The faster we go, the
Mm,
better it is. Adit has a very good question that can I use it for choosing my career or is it also useful for choosing the right business?
mm. I think it is good to keep Ikigai as one of the center point, to keep Ikigai as center point in life. I think this will naturally guide us into right direction. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, so this is important to keep Ikigai as a kind of guiding light. And if there is no Ikigai, I think there will be not so much thing to offer in that field. So I think it is good to make step forward from what we cannot feel Ikigai. I think it's quite important. Or even if we don't take drastic change in the present field, why we cannot feel Ikigai in present situation? This is also a good question to give for self-reflection. Yeah,
So
I think.
Adit, I want to add up to your answer. It does not matter what you're doing. It does not matter at all what you're doing. Find out yourself where your joy is, and do you have a good skill set in that, what you're trying to do. Now, if you have, you will attract those people around you. So Ikigai is a way of life rather than a tool. But yes, of course, you can use it daily. As Jyoti says, that when we practice it daily, when you are in a more state of consciousness, you know exactly that when is the time to give up that job, because you would be already attracting a tribe for yourself in entrepreneurship. And with this time, with 49 million jobs lost in the US and the whole world with so much of insecurity, entrepreneurship has become a must. It is no more a choice. A passive income has become a must. And why we bring in Ikigai here is to make that choice well. Not that I want to do business on something, trading, and just make money. No, when the foundation is well, and when you start strong and well, you sustain. Yeah, hope Adar, if there's any question, you can please put in. Rakhi has a question, Jyoti, that is Ikigai an ongoing process?
I couldn't
Yeah,
hear.
no issues.
Yeah.
It's in the comments. She has a question that do we deep dive in Ikigai, and does it have a time frame? That's what you want to ask Rakhi, right?
I think it depends on the person. And I think we should not really hurry about the Ikigai. I think we have to, Ikigai is the way how to learn to live in our own rhythm. So we should not really squeeze ourselves to cultivate the Ikigai. I think we have to be ready for the journey, one's own journey. And then we can actually take first step of joy and happiness. So for that, I think we should not squeeze when we achieve Ikigai or when we have achievement in entrepreneurship or business. But I think what is important is to decide, I live my own from now on and take step forward. And then the depth will come by itself, I think.
Yeah, so if you have any other question, there are more new people who've joined in, and we have a lot of people from the other countries. So please go ahead and type in your question. Yeah, yes, Adir, you were saying that you want to create employment through direct selling. Yeah, of course. Of course. See, as long
Sounds
as
great.
Adhir, yeah, I'll just answer and get back to you, Jyoti. So, Adhir, you see, there are different ways of making money. All right, let's get into that. One is working for someone else. The other is working for yourself and creating the value because of which he pays the money to you. So what is this money? Money is just a currency, right? You're solving a problem, you're giving a value or a service, a service or a product. In return of that, you're getting money. Direct selling, of course, you can get money from there. But remember, there is a lot of competition out there in direct selling or in affiliate marketing or in network products. So what you need to figure out is go deep in your micro niche. Find out what you really enjoy doing. Okay, we can break it down further in our one-on-one or some other sessions. Find that out first. Bring your personality, your unique flavor to your work first. Then go to direct selling. Otherwise, it's like a push. You got to say, okay, you are going to take the Oriflame, Herbalife, or the network marketing, and it becomes a push sales. But when you have your credibility, when you have your unique flavor in building something, it can be through a website, it can be just through a landing page. We are not discussing about platforms here. Bring that flavor, that what is it your core is and why are you doing it. So we call it the golden circle. The golden circle is why you do what you do. Why are you doing what you're doing? Bring in that unique flavor and then layer it up with direct selling. So what happens is you'll have your own tribe, you'll have your own community, you would have your own kind of people who are coming in and who are automatically you're creating a pushing sales. Remember, being and preachy nowadays does not work at all. At all. So, how Ikigai helps is to bring in that unique flavor of yours, the value which you can create, then build any business on that and see the difference. Yeah, Jyoti, you wanted to take this answer, the question, sorry.
No, it's fine. I think it was well explained, I think. I like
Okay,
your
all
answer
right.
very
Any
much.
other question on? Yeah, so any other question on Ikigai? Because I think there is a little time slag in getting the questions. Okay, all right. Yeah, Abhilash, any questions? Especially, we had a beautiful session on storytelling with Abhilash, and I got one query from in the evening from South Africa, who says that I want to start on my entrepreneurship and I'd like to know how to build my story. I have a story, but I do not have the technique for this. I would connect with you, Abhilash, later on this. Now, do let us know, do get in touch with Jyoti. And on entrepreneurship and Ikigai, this is one session which we've done. We have regular webinars on people who really want to hop in to see that how is it that entrepreneurship can be on a strong foundation using age-old beliefs, grounded beliefs on things like Ikigai. All right, Vamsi has a question, Jyoti. How can it help us to be in our best state of life?
I think Ikigai is itself is the best state of life, I think. Because if we are content, if we are happy about our own life, and if we are happy about what we practice, I think we cannot expect more than that. So I think Ikigai is the goal and a step at the same time.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so Vamsi, you got that clear. Yeah, Adir, good that you'll work on it. If you help us to layer it out, to bring in that flavor, get in touch with us. And yes, a lot of you or a lot of us is in some particular mess in life. Figure it out, what that mess is, and make it a message. Find out your Ikigai, self-reflect, make your mess a message, and get down on entrepreneurship. Heart with all your joy. And Jyoti would be taking regular webinars to help anyone who would like to take it in this form and build a solid foundation and then take it ahead from there. Jyoti, I want to say that it was lovely to have you tonight. There has been so much of commercial things on people just taking a diagram and posting and saying that this is how business can be started. And there you came from a whole native feeling of the way of living life. So it was lovely to have you over.
So
Yeah.
it helped me also because I really cannot have this perspective. It's so native and so close to our daily life. So when I need to explain about the Ikigai, it really requires some effort to actually keep some distance about this Japanese concept of Ikigai. So it was a great opportunity for me, and then thank you about this opportunity.
Thanks so much, Jyoti. Thanks so much. And Jyoti's foundation is built on one of these invisible pillars of humility, which you can feel through. So build your invisible pillars, build entrepreneurship. See you soon. Tomorrow we have a very, well, let me put it, a very contagious, very addictive session with a Spanish entrepreneur, how to make side hustle into entrepreneurship. All right. Catch you tomorrow, 10 p.m. IST. All right. Sleep well. Bye. Hope there will be some
Okay,
time
good
for
night, everybody.
reflection. Good night. Good night, all of you.